Welcome back everyone, I'm Setharoth. As you can see, I jumped around a little bit after my little crash last episode. I went ahead and rolled through some of the theses, grabbed a quill, some of the stuff that I had stocked up over time, none of which were really paramount to the core build of this character. We're going to do that now. I'm running a little shy on time today, so we're going to go ahead and just dive right in. Our first objective is going to be to level up our destruction skill high enough so that we can start using apprentice level projectiles. Our next quest is fighting the first dragon in the main quest line, and right now we do not have the necessary firepower to be able to survive that. So we're going to need a fire and forget spell type. That means you shoot the spell and it happens. That is obviously different from concentration, where you have to hold and maintain the spell. We're going to, let's go ahead and do a fire type. Oh, interesting. We don't have enough magicka. We're going to have to do a lot of resting to make this work. Alright, but we are still a very low character level, so that would make sense. Alright, we've got, oh, I'm already at 110. I think that's new. I think I just forgot to sleep last, in between these episodes when I was finishing up a lot of the... You collect a lot of theses, and a lot of them I didn't want to just give them up, but at the same time they weren't part of the core build. Like, I don't plan on this character using a water-based thesis anytime soon. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Thesis. It's probably a thesis. I will try to say that better. Okay, let's see. We're hoping for an apprentice level fire. There we go. Alright, so we've got fire and forget, fire. We do want an apprentice level shock, because this dragon is going to be, I think it uses fire, so obviously that kind of creates some difficulties if you're hitting it with fire. I believe we can get away with aimed at the apprentice level, and we're definitely going to want destruction at the apprentice level. So that should be enough to get the ball rolling. Just to be safe, we're going to go ahead and arm ourselves with flames, and then we're going to analyze it to make sure we haven't missed anything. So when we analyze the flame spell, we see that it is a novice level concentration, novice level destruction, novice level fire, and aimed. So obviously we need to get those up to apprentice, with the exception of concentration, which will become fire and forget once we are actually shooting stuff in the bad guys' faces. So let's go ahead and do a rest real quick, get back some of our magicka exhaustion. And then there's a couple of ways you can do this depending on how immersive you want to be. If I was going for pure immersion, I probably would have made 3 theses for each of the apprentice levels that I was trying to learn. But given that time is short and I'd like to move on with the character build and keep things going at a brisk pace, instead we are going to do a little trick here where we are going to save. Actually, I should probably pray. I haven't done that in a while. What are we looking at? Zenithar? Alright, so we pray first so that if the theses explodes when we try to study it, then we can just reload rather than making a whole bunch of theses that can kind of get in the way. So let's start with Fire and Forget Apprentice. FYI, learning directly from theses like this is possible because of the spell, tweaks and mercantilism. It's an expansion on spell research. If you get that, then you should be all set. Okay, large amount of spells involving fire and forget. Alright, we were only able to make 2. We were able to learn about it twice before that one exploded, which actually isn't too bad. Let's have a look. I think you need 1,000 experience in Apprentice before you can tear it up. Pretty sure. Let's see, come on. This is the one downside. There is another mod that allows you to get another version of this book that is a bit more user-friendly. I just hesitate to add mods mid-playthrough, especially if I've already given myself an audience and a timeline. I would not want to have to redo this playthrough and play through, 2.5 hours of of material just to accommodate having put in one mod into a load order that caused it to crash. So we're just going to be patient and listen to me ramble a little bit more, because now we are on that page. Ah, perfect. Okay, 1,000 apprentice experience. Not bad. Let's see how our magicka is looking. 60. We could probably learn another one before needing to rest again. Alright, so that took care of apprentice, fire and forget. So next we're going to do fire. Oh, and this is why we save first. There we go. I really do love that mod that adds in new load order screens. My computer's fast enough that I don't spend a lot of time on the load order screens, but it is nice to have that extra variety. Alright, can we make it work this time? We cannot. Huh, interesting. Can't wait till I have my enchanting a little more enhanced. See, this is why I didn't go ahead and make like 4 or 5 theses of each kind. This is just, I think it's faster. At the least it costs less resources, so you're less likely to run out of paper and ink. Okay, so we got one. Apprentice spells involving fire, and since that failed twice, let's go ahead and save again before we try that again, just to be on the safe side. Abracadabra? Nope. Yeah, so this will definitely be a bit of a process. But if you're in a resource-limited environment where you don't have a lot of paper, or you're in the middle of a dungeon and you're just trying to cook through as many of these theses as you can, this save and reload tactic can be very helpful, especially for, you know, master level spells. When you find a thesis for something at a really high level and you don't want to risk losing it, this would be the way to go. So we're going to go ahead and give that one more shot. I'd like to get a 3rd apprentice level. There we go. Okay, so that's 3 apprentice levels for fire. That puts our magic up probably pretty high. Yeah, 120. Alright, time for another rest. This is why I didn't add in I need, because I would have to be chugging food and drink every time I finished resting, on top of needing to remember to pray. Oh man, if you missed it, if you can imagine if you mixed this with a vampire build, so that you'd also need to go out and suck some blood every time you had a 24-hour period of crafting. That would, yeah, that'd be a little tedious. Little tedious. I'm still trying to figure out the best combination to use to get the right level of immersion, but also the you know, if you get too much immersion, then it just kind of gets exhausting. All right, so let's dive into shock if we can. Fingers crossed. Ooh, okay, so we got one. Let's go ahead and save there. We're gonna shoot for 3. We were able to do the last one off of 2, but I think if we go for 3, since we can save and reload if it blows up anyway, I think that's probably the best bet, just to make sure as possible that we can learn everything we need to, and then make some new spells. Then we're going to go fight a dragon. That will be also challenging. Okay, let's do another round of shock. Come to daddy. Was that 3? I think that was 3. Let's see. I can probably guess by my mental exhaustion. Yeah, that's 3. Okay, cool. Alright, let's save there. And I think... Alright, we just need aimed and destruction. Steady item. One of the nice things about the way these archetypes are set up is that they kind of spill over into different spells, right? Your ability with fire and forget, the amount of experience you'll have with fire and forget spells is going to be through the roof because almost every spell is fire and forget. So you will get master level fire and forget pretty quickly in comparison to all of the other archetypes that you'll be building up. Same thing for the aimed spell type that we're trying to learn now. That is fairly common, like almost every spell is aimed or self-targeted. Between the two of those, you'll have quite a bit of experience. Alright, so that is number 2. We're going to shoot for 1 more. And then move on to apprentice level destruction. Then we'll make a ton of theses and start doing some compositions. That's when you get into the good stuff. We'll see. Sometimes when you're actually composing new spells, it can be pretty entertaining, because sometimes there's a random number generator involved, so you can actually learn spells that you don't have all the archetypes for. So for example, if you've got Fire and Forget, Aimed, and Destruction, you might actually learn a spell with Frost type, even though you don't have a lot of experience in Frost. So I think that's an interesting touch, that sometimes you can have this eureka moment that will give you a different kind of spell than what you were studying. If you have a lot of spell mods, that can be a little annoying. I mean, it depends on how you look at it, because if you've got like 500 new spells, you know, adding all of the different mods together, then you can potentially have a whole lot of random spells that come to you, because you won't have every spell's archetype combination memorized. And it can certainly make a game more challenging. It can also kind of force you to use spells that you might not use on a regular basis in a full playthrough. Like if I started a full playthrough, I've modified this build a little bit and added in a couple new mods just to see how well they all work together before I try and put those mods on the spotlight. And it has been interesting to see that all work together. And I just lost my train of thought. Okay, going on to Destruction Apprentice level. I think we already got one of these to work. That's 2, I think. Let me double check. Trying to keep you guys in it. Yep, okay, that's 2. Perfect. Let's go ahead and save real quick. And we'll do it again. And if the saving repeatedly bugs you during your own playthrough, you can obviously make 3, 4, 5 apprentice level theses of each archetype that you want to study, and then just go from there. That's perfectly viable. You know, if that works for you, knock yourself out. I'm just limited resources early in the game, just trying to speed things along a little bit so that you guys aren't spending 45 minutes watching me just tread water through a spell research mod. And oh god, this is a stubborn one. But this is why we save. Alright, this is the last one. If we can get one more hour of good studying time off of this thesis, then we should be able to start experimenting with destruction spells. Ooh, hello. Okay, we're going to save and then try it one more time, because destruction, that's another one of those that we're going to be using a lot. So if we can boost that by just a little more, it would certainly be helpful. Oh, no. Alright, never mind. Alright, we're going to go ahead and rest, and then we're going to start experimenting and see what we can get. We've got 80 points of magicka, so that'll be 8 points of rest. Wait, 8 points of rest? Uh-oh. Did I only study that twice? Let me check. Because we do need, I'm fairly certain you need 1,000 experience in order to start doing apprentice level spells, which means we need to see how much destruction experience we got. We might have to make one more theses and then move on. Let's see, we've got to scroll through a few more. If you get confused by the chronological order here, it is the same order that is used on the main menu when you're making theses, which is why I know destruction is going to be near the end. Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah, we should be good. We should be good. We've got plenty of experience. So, alright, so the next step then is saving. Very important. Always save first. Alright, so now we're going to attempt to make... Let's start with a fire spell. I'm not planning, obviously, on using fire on the dragon, but having some fire spells would obviously be helpful. So we're going to go ahead and do fire, destruction, aimed, insufficient writing materials. Oh yeah, we can fix that real quick. I stocked up on a lot of ruined books, so we go to non-thesis category show, and scroll all the way down to the bottom, because non-theses... Wait, where'd they go? I missed something? I think it's another one of these menus up here. Mundane crafting. There we go. So mundane crafting down at the bottom, that's where you will combine ruined books into rolls of paper. Do I not? Wait, I thought I had more ruined books. I thought I had a lot more ruined books. Apparently not. Okay. Well, we could certainly use more paper, and I will collect more tomes as we go along. So, alright, so we got destruction at apprentice level, aimed at apprentice level. We're definitely going to want some shock, and that should do it. Let's double check our exhaustion. 100. Yep, definitely worth some sleep time. I don't know if the amount of mental fatigue you have directly correlates to how successful you'll be at discovering a new spell, but it seems like best practice just to make sure you're well rested before you go about trying to make anything new, if that makes sense. Ironically, our favor with Zenithar is really skyrocketing. You guys are going to love what happens when that gets up to level 100, or to 100% favor. Alrighty, so we should have enough of all the archetypes to do some compositions. We're going to shoot for fire first, just to kind of stretch our legs a little bit and see what happens. So we're going to fire and forget, fire, aimed, and destruction. And then we're going to go back into the menu, back into compose spell formula, and we'll see what happens. 3, 2, 1. Nope. I guessed horribly. It takes a random amount of time. Sometimes it'll be super quick. Sometimes it takes a while, which kind of is what you'd expect. Although now that I think about it, it is kind of unimmersive that I'm standing in the rain writing my book. But I'm in front of my little camping tent. I do wonder what it would take to make like an animation that would allow you to do all this research while you're sitting in your tent. I think that would be pretty cool. But that would definitely be a combination of two mods that were not designed to play well together. Campfire was not made with spell research in mind, and vice versa. Okay, this is taking a while. This is making me a little nervous. Is this going to blow up in my face? Are we good? I don't know. 3, 2, 1. Ah! Oh, ew. Okay. After much time and energy, form fizzles out. One of these had a fatal mistake in it, so we're missing aimed. Interesting. Okay, so let's take a look at our mod configuration, spell research, experience, aimed. I want to make sure that it has enough. Oh no, it's got enough. Okay. Even if you have enough experience, there's still a random number generator that kind of randomly determines whether you're successful or not, so it will take multiple tries. Alright, so let's go ahead and get an extra destruction, fire and forget, aimed. Just so we have it, because I want to also do a round with shock. So fire and forget, aimed, and destruction. Let's go ahead and make some of those. Assuming I have enough paper. Nope. Ooh, I might still be... Am I mentally exhausted? Yes, I am. Wow, they take quite a bit of exhaustion for failing to make a spell. Lovely. Yeah, if you get tired of all of the resting, there is a mod that will run this rest counter a lot faster, so you don't have to wait as long. You can also go for alchemy instead. The alchemy build doesn't drain your magicka when you learn new stuff, so that's another option, and we will explore that further down the line. Right now my character kind of resources are limited, and we definitely need to amp things up if we're going to be able to fight things at the level we are going to be fighting at. Okay, so let's try to make a few more ruined books into paper, or ancient parchments, whatever. Okay, so we'll need a second destruction, a second aimed, and a second fire and forget, if I remember correctly. Yes. Okay. Let's go ahead and sleep once more. Do some resting. Then we'll save, and then that way we can reload if it doesn't work, rather than having to rest every single time that it doesn't work. Just trying to streamline the process a little bit. Alright, let's compose another spell formula. We're going to do the same thing again and just tempt fate. Destruction, aimed. Fire, fire, and forget. Come on. We both know that they work. We both know they fit. I already looked at the flame spell. These are the actual archetypes it uses, except for fire and forget, because we switched that out from concentration. But we should be good. We should be good. Come to daddy. Huh. Still nothing. Okay. Well, let's try this. Let's go ahead and load. I was wanting to do a lightning build anyway, or at least for fighting this dragon. Obviously, you can't shoot a fire dragon with fire bolts. So let's just go ahead and give shock a try. Oh, I'm not making a thesis, duh. We are composing. Ideally, shock would be better. I don't think this character has actually put perks into a specific element yet, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, I don't know why these aren't working, because we have enough experience in aimed. We already checked fire and forget. We checked destruction. We've got to have enough in flames, because I've been spitting that out for the whole game so far, anyway. What else we got here? Shock wouldn't be too bad. If you're familiar with Ordinator's perk tree for shock, there's actually some crowd control abilities, like stuns, that magnetize or lift up an opponent into the air. So it's not as effective as shock at slowing things down, but it can delay an enemy approach while you're also lighting up their magicka. And usually I die more from mages than I do from melee guys anyway. So going shock might be the best bet in the long run, particularly because lately in my other playthrough, oh, come on. You know what? Why don't we just try it? We'll do fire and forget, shock and aimed. Why not? We'll see what that gets us. Destruction, shock, fire and forget. See if those three. Spent too few moments trying to figure this. There's far too mentally drained. Oh, was that my problem? Did I just get too tired to... Okay. Sleeping again. I don't know. Do we just not have enough magicka to pull it off? That might be it, because we're still a really low level. And it takes over 100 magicka to make an apprentice spell. Does that mean we have to do, like, novice stuff first? That would not be ideal. Well, let's see what theses we got left. We've got fire and forget, fire, one more destruction, couple of shocks. Alright, let's widen the net a little bit here. I tried to put in the exact theses for firebolt. So instead, let's go for destruction, fire and forget, and fire. We're just going to try those three and see if the game then realizes, oh, wait, you've got enough aimed experience to make this work. That's what I'm hoping will happen. We'll see. I'm pretty sure that accounts for almost every fire spell in the game. Fire and forget, yeah, there's only one concentration spell for fire. From the beginning, unable to grasp the structure of the spell, I've spent hours smashing my head into a wall. Finally given to admit that I do not have anywhere near the amount of experience needed to create a spell of this complexity. In a fit of anger, I tear up the papers I've been using as a reference. Well, now I'm a little confused here. Let's review my... Am I just maybe I don't have enough experience in one of these fields. Because we've got 1,000 aimed, which should be fine. And then we've got 1,300 destruction, also fine. I mean, the water isn't going to be what we want, but we can keep going. We've got 1,500 shock. That's excellent. Magicka, metal resistance. Those don't have anything to do with what we're looking for. Health, mortals, life, light. Nope. Moving on. Fire, 1200. Yep, we got enough fire. We should be good there. That just leaves fire and forget, which is 1000. Do we just have not enough fire and forget? That might be it. Let's find out. We're going to research fire and forget one more time. Really pop that up over 1000. Even if I have to reload. I know the initial stages of spell research can seem frustrating, and you might be right. But once you've gotten up enough experience in a variety of subtypes, or of archetypes, you start learning things a lot more reliably, and then things get a lot more fun. So it's a bit of a learning curve in the beginning, especially when you're just trying to get some very specific key spells to keep your character going. If you're going to do this build, or this mod for the first time, I would suggest kind of a half caster. Like if you went with an assassin character that kind of dabbles in illusion, then your character doesn't need that illusion spell right away. You can kind of take your time to develop it as your character gets further along in the game. That would just be my advice. Oh geez. Well, you know what? We haven't seen any action in a while, so we might as well go do some hunting. Let's see. Any bad guys around here? I don't think so. I think I already cleared out this area. Should I save, then just go ravage a town? Tempting. Oh. Well, I mean... Alright, let's... I know things are really dark right now, because my werewolf can't carry a lantern, but... you know what? Why don't we try something else a little different here? This is from my mod Skyrim Underground. It is an underground network that connects various towns in Skyrim. Oh, jeez. It is. Okay, I'm going to have to design a mod for night vision for werewolves. Open bedrock hollow. Alright, anything we can eat down here? Please tell me it has decent lighting. It's my own fault. I had to put in a mod that made more realistic lighting. Supposedly, you're not supposed to go in here until you're level 10, but I am a fully fledged werewolf, so maybe I will be okay. Ha ha ha! So far, so good. Oh, alright, what are we dealing with here? Balmer skeleton. Oh, so far. Oh, jeez. Excuse me, sir. Let me just, yep. Oh, jeez. Ah, no. Finish eating. Finish eating already. Run. And it is not afraid of me. That's right. Back up. Can we finish this guy off? Do I have any more bodies that I can feed off? There we go. All right. Finish eating. They're getting closer. They're really slow. Oh wait, what is spitting on me? That's got to stop. That's right. Goodbye, cave worm. There we go. Okay, we're figuring this out here. Goodbye, Charis larva. I'm sure you will be delectable, and you will give me werewolf experience, which I cannot say no to. Yeah, I have every intention of using this werewolf to take out dragons when I get to higher levels. Unfortunately, in the first while he goes swimming in these things when he eats them. That's a little disgusting. A little bit, little disgusting. But I can't say no to more werewolf experience. That, yeah, not saying no to that. Looks like we've got some more trouble over here. We might be able to get a little bit more experience before we go back to our boring lives. Oh, geez, that's... Okay, can I eat you? No. Probably because you're undead. What's in here? Is there something else? Can't open the door while I'm a werewolf. That sounds like a Charis, and I'm already half dead. So, should probably head back now. I have risked my low-level life enough for one little... I figured you guys might as well end on a bit of a seeing something new rather than just watching me bookworm it the entire time. Werewolf versus underground dungeon. Werewolf that can apparently climb ladders, because why not? Okay, can we just follow the quest marker? It is super dark in here. There we go. Alright, so at least we were able to find something to chew on. That's not bad. Let's see, can I find my camp from before? It should still be here. Where is my tent? It's gotta be around here somewhere. Pretty sure your campfire sticks around in the world even if you leave the cell. Yes, it does. Well, there we go. Alright, we found ourselves. Let's see, we've got one extra perk. We've already got some extra damage. No longer forced to transform at night. That's tempting. But I do train outside, so it's not a big issue. More healing when you feed, power attacks. I'm probably going to have to start with more health and stamina, particularly since this is probably going to be my primary way of killing dragons. Especially if I can't get... Ooh. You have a lot of extra health as a werewolf. At least we can do that. Okay. Alright, so that is about it for me. We were able to build up a lot of experience in key archetypes for various spells, particularly for fire. Unfortunately, we had a hard time learning new fire spells, so we'll check back next episode. Maybe we'll start by seeing how many novice level destruction spells we can get. I might just do a little bit of fudging with the command line and give myself lots of rolls of paper just so we can explore that a little more and see what we are able to build right now versus what we will be able to do later. Okay, that freaked me out for a second. I was like, I've already changed. Why are things changing again? Alright, let's go ahead and pray. Alright, well, that is it for my morning. I've got to get ready for work. I hope you guys... learned something from this video, even if it was just the fact that werewolves tend to swim in giant chorus larvae when they're feeding on them. That was probably more... I wasn't expecting to end on a note that disturbing, but it still was quite disturbing. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Feel free to like the video, subscribe to my channel. Hopefully it wasn't too boring watching me try and sort through all of the archetypes. It can be a little frustrating at first when you're trying to get them going. But once you have enough experience in a wide range of archetypes, it can be pretty fun because random ones will pop that you didn't know you had learned, and it can be pretty good. So we will make another attempt next episode. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Take care.